And we are back. If you're joining us here, do yourself a favor and watch this thing from the very beginning. Don't just catch the story here because maybe you've read the title. This story's motto from the beginning has been hilarious, but so many lessons in just your normal life story. Before you continue with this story solo, I just want to big up Sarova. As you can clearly see, they've given us an amazing room to shoot, have our own privacy. We had breakfast. First of all, how was the breakfast?
It was very nice.
It was very
the bacon was on point.
It was on point. And Solo is a guy who likes exquisite things.
Come on, dude.
He likes to find the things in life, man. But I'm serious, and you've introduced me to very many different places, which I thank you for. But big up Sarova for that. There's also lunch definitely going to be coming. There's going to be even dinner if we shoot until that long. So we're in no hurry to rush the story. Sarova make this absolutely easy for us and accommodating for us to do these shoots, and I have to completely thank them for that. Thank you, Sarova. Okay, let's continue this solo. So you come back from South Africa, Pretoria, Joburg, wherever you may have seen.
Yeah.
Now let's continue with the story. What year is this? And
this is 1998. July, around July of 1998. And so I come back and. Around that same period of time I had applied, so we had decided, since I didn't make it into the local universities for architecture, which I was really set on, my heart was set on, and my parents honored that, they gave me the green light to apply to colleges in the States. So I sent 24 applications all over the place. I sat my SATs, TOEFL, which I did well in, better than I did in KCSE.
With your B+, which is amazing.
In Alliance, that's... I received feedback from only 3 colleges out of all my applications. They all accepted me, but the one that stood out was Savannah College of Art and Design. And the reason was, besides the fact that they offered architecture, which I really wanted to study, I had a cousin, an age mate of mine, Eric, dear cousin of ours who sadly passed on many years ago, was already enrolled in the same city in college at Savannah State University. So my parents and I felt that should be where I should go because, worst case scenario, I have my brother there, my cousin there to sort of hold each other up if I need backup and whatnot. It's just nice to have family nearby. So that's where I ended up, Savannah College of Art and Design. So we asked them for, I-20 forms and so on for visa applications. We filled them in and sent them back, and then they gave us feedback. On the day I received the acceptance letter, I remember it was around, what time was that? No, close to the end of the day, 3-4 p.m. or thereabouts. I was in my mom's office in the industrial area at on Enterprise Road. She had an office there where I was operations manager. I was sitting at a desk typing a letter for her on her newly acquired computer. And the office clerk brought in mail he had just collected from the post office, and I opened one. It was addressed to me. It was my acceptance letter. I was like, Mom, they have sent the acceptance letter. I can go. And she said, so what next? I said, let's go to the embassy and find out how I can apply for the visa. And she packed up her handbag, and we were walking downstairs to the parking lot. This is Avon House on Enterprise Road. And as we were walking down, the building shook. It felt sort of like one of the big trucks, because there was a bottling company or something downstairs, soda distribution depot downstairs. It felt like one of those trucks had maybe backed up too close to the building and had hit the wall. You know, that thud, boom, and there was a vibration. And as soon as we stepped outside, cars were driving on the opposite side of the road, flashing their lights. People were running, like headless chicken all over the place. This is on Enterprise Road, yeah? And I was confused, I was like, what's going on? And in the distance, if you're standing on Enterprise Road and look towards town, you can see Cooperative House. And,
yep, very well.
And the building next to it was smoking, black smoke. And we're like, what happened? And someone said, there's been a terrorist attack. Where? The US Embassy. I was like, what? But that's where we're going now. Like, what do you mean? We were literally on our way to the US Embassy to get instructions on how to apply for my visa before we go home. And that happened. 15 minutes earlier, we'd have been caught up in that mess. And that day, I'll never forget that day. I was shaken. So anyway, aftermath happened and so on.
First of all, you're shaken because you could have been there.
Yeah.
Then two, the place that I'm going that is giving me the ticket out of here to study what I love is no longer
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the building's gone. People have died. It's a big deal. As far as I know, it was the first terrorist attack in Kenya
that we know of.
Yeah. And that building was a landmark, right?
Yep.
For that building to come down, like, oh my God, building was there before I was born. Probably. It's been part of the Nairobi landscape.
Yep. It was a reference point.
Yes, it was. So, that was shaking. And so anyway, we go home, and next day we tried to make calls, and there was an announcement by the US government that they have shut down all their Africa embassies. No visa processing, no nothing, because the same thing had happened in Tanzania.
Yes.
So all Africa embassies are no longer processing visa applications. You apply to UK. So now there's the issue of extra expense. You have to go to the UK. To get to the UK in the first place, you need a visa. So you need a visa to go apply for a visa. It's just, and in I don't know what gave me the idea, the notion. I just thought, let me send an email to the embassy in Cape Town. Because I knew there was an embassy there, and Dorothy is still down there. I'm always trying to connect the dots, right? So I send an email, and someone responds like within hours. His title was Senior Library Custodian or something, a South African gentleman. And he said something to the effect that, we're so sorry about what has happened to Kenya. We hope you're safe. Yes, Africa embassies have been instructed to shut down visa processing, but if you like, you can come to Cape Town and ask for me. Send me your details in advance.
No way.
Yeah. So.
No way.
And the reason I thought of that is because back then we didn't need visas to go to SA. You just buy your ticket and you're out. So I told my folks.
Unless you're a student. Because I was a student. Oh, no. I was a student in 2001. That's different.
Yeah, this was 1998.
And that's so huge to know, because that shows the effects of 9/11 and also the effects of this bomb blast.
Yeah.
In terms of what it meant for
that was the beginning of a global change in immigration procedures.
Yes. Even for pilots, even for, it doesn't matter for it. Yeah.
So I told my folks, hey, if I go to Cape Town, I don't need a visa to SA, number one. This person, I showed them the email. It was an official email from their official email address. Come and ask, so what's the harm? Let me try. If not, then I just have to go through UK. This was in August, right? So I fly down to Cape Town. I go to the embassy, and the gentleman was there. It's like, yes, Solomon, you came. Yeah, welcome to Cape Town.
What?
The room was full of people applying for visas. to the US. Full. I mean, there was probably like, I don't know, 100 people in that room. It felt like. I couldn't even sit. There was no space to sit. So I was called to the window. I presented my documents. They went through them. The guy said, yeah, it looks okay. Come back in 2 days.
What?
Yeah, so I hung out in Cape Town for another 2 days.
Was Dorothy around?
Of course. Dorothy was in school at the University of Cape Town.
Oh, she's in UCT?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got to hang out with her, for the whole week. I collected my visa.
No way.
To the States, my student visa. In fact, I remember the guy telling me, I'm sorry, I have to give you a 5-year visa only. And I said, why? Because your studies are supposed to take 5 years. So we've given you enough visa coverage to sort out your duration there. Had you applied for a visitor visa like everyone else here, I'd have given you a 10-year visa. But I have to be specific to your I-20 application. I mean, so I come back. I come back and unfortunately at that same period of time, my grandpa passed away. My grandfather, whom I'm named after. And we thought it best to postpone my my departure to the
Your
States.
dad's dad?
Yeah, my dad's dad. So that I could be here for the funeral. So, my cousins picked me up from the airport and headed straight to Webuye for the funeral. And then I ended up leaving at the beginning of the next school quarter. So rather than enroll in fall, which started in September, I believe, September, October, November, was fall quarter, was when new students enrolled. The academic year always started in fall. Rather than enroll then, because I had to be here for my grandpa's funeral, I ended up leaving in December.
For the January.
For the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was a quarter late with my year, but it worked out well.
Okay, so let's have a conversation now about your transition. What day is it? Where do you go? What's that experience like?
To the States?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was an emotional experience, because I'm going to this far-flung continent on the other side of the planet. I haven't been that far before. I'm flying alone. I mean, thank God I'd done 2 SA trips, so I could navigate my way around the airports and so on. But obviously we had the layover in, I think my first layover was Zurich.
So your parents take you to the airport?
Yeah, my whole family, we had a big send-off sort of dinner, prayer thingy.
Yeah.
Cousins, friends, how Kenyans we do it.
Yeah.
Take the whole village with you. And they all wave goodbye at the observation deck.
When you could do that. It's
I know. Long gone those days, man. It was very emotional for me.
What are you feeling? What emotions are you going through at this time? Knowing that you're leaving.
I was half excited because obviously I get to go off to college and study architecture, which was always my dream. I get to study architecture. Then, I'll see my cousin. It's a new place. There's always that excitement. But then, I'm leaving my mom, my dad, my sisters. Dorothy was home for the Christmas holiday at the time. This was December 28th, 1998. So she accompanied my family and friends to see me off. So that was also emotional. Now I'm going to Stato.
This 19-year-olds.
Yeah, man. I mean, she's in Cape Town. I'm going to be in America. How's that gonna work? I mean, it was hard enough trying to travel from here to go visit her. How am I gonna pull it off from there? It was mixed emotions, bag of mixed emotions. But it was an exciting trip.
At this time, do you know where you're going when you land? Do you have the details?
Yeah,
Are you meeting anybody on that other side?
Yes, my cousin Eric was picking me up from the airport in Savannah.
Okay, so you already had that connection there.
Yeah, he was already enrolled in school in Savannah State University, studying engineering.
That changes the landing. It sort of gives you a bit more peace.
Yeah, totally. Because now trying to figure out where to go on my own. Although I'm pretty sure the university would have made arrangements because 60% of the student population was international.
Okay.
So they were used to it. But it was nice to have my cousin Eric, who we were all so fond of. He was one of those personalities who got under your skin and could drive you insane with frustration just because of his inquisitiveness, his curiosity. He was always doing dumb crap and getting
how
people
much
in
older
trouble.
was he?
We were about to say we're exactly the same age.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, okay. I think I was maybe a couple months older, if my memory serves me right. Just a lovable guy, man. So I was happy. I was happy that he gets to pick me from the airport, which he did. He brought a roommate of his, picked me up in a pickup.
First, even before that, where I'm trying to figure out. So Nairobi, where do you go? Like, how long is the trip?
Nairobi, Zurich was like 8-9 hours. It was very short layover. So I stayed put in the waiting area. I don't even think I went to the bathroom.
You're not missing that flight.
I can't miss this flight, dude. So the next leg was another 9 hours to Dallas. Dallas Airport in Washington, D.C. If I remember correctly. And then from there, I took a short flight, 3-hour flight to Georgia.
So when you arrived Dallas, you did you already begin feeling the implications of the bomb blast? Was there already, or you already had enough papers?
Yeah, I mean, so I arrived in Dallas, and I've just collected my baggage, and I was told it's gonna be winter, so dress warm. So I was wearing a thick leather jacket, and I was wearing new clothes because I had to go shopping for my clothes to college and whatever. And I remember I was wearing these thick-soled Caterpillar sneakers. They were black with white soles. Brand name. They were the in thing back then. And I was standing in line to go through the security checkpoint with my baggage. And there's this guy, he was wearing a badge, short American gentleman, white gentleman, was walking around. He looked like an airport official because he was walking around with some authority, looking at people and whatever. And for whatever reason, he jumped like 15 people and came to talk to me.
Because you're black. No, I'm joking. No, maybe. I'm not joking.
No, absolutely. It's because I was black. He said hello to me. I said hello back, and he could pick up from my accent immediately I was African. And he asked me if I could step aside and follow him with my baggage.
What?
So, I innocently followed the guy. They took me to a room in the back. This room was extremely brightly lit. It had 3-way mirrors on 3 walls. So I knew, having watched movies before.
Cavity search, sir.
Yeah, there's probably dudes behind those reflective glasses I can't see watching, right? So that became intimidating. I was like, what's the problem? No, it's a standard security check for foreigners coming in. Do you mind if we search your bags? Like, sure. So they opened my bags. First thing they confiscated was my malaria queen. Mom made me carry like a thick stack of malaria queens, right? In case I got,
malaria.
Yeah, bitten by a mosquito on the flight. And the guy asked me, what is this? I said, that's some anti-malaria medicine. Like, really, do you have prescription? I said, no. We buy them from the pharmacy. We don't need prescriptions. Like, I'm sorry, we can't let you come in with this. Have to confiscate. And the guy dumps them in a trash can. I'm like, what the? Let's keep my cool. Next thing he finds, my uncle, Eric's dad, Uncle Kavio, had sent me with sugarcane for his son, Eric, wrapped in newspaper. It was in my suitcase.
Booyah style.
I know, dude. Actually, I remember not wanting to carry that sugarcane, but it was my uncle. I'm going to see Eric, so like sour. Like, what is this? Like, that's sugarcane. I realized today a lot of these guys had never seen live sugar cane. Like they know sugar, they don't know where the sugar comes from. So I told them that sugar cane is like, oh, we can't allow any biological material into the country, so we have to confiscate this as well. as like, crap. They rummaged through all my bags, found nothing, made me take off my jacket. They x-rayed my jacket. Yeah, they beat it against a wall, like tried to feel things in the padding.
Okay, so let me ask you, how are you feeling at this time when you
I was
see
confused, man. I was like, first of all, why am I the only one who was picked from the line? What about everyone else? But what am I gonna say? I mean,
smile and wave, keep your cool at this time.
Yeah, so they scanned the jacket. They said, like, fine, it's out. Can you take off your shoes? They bent the shoes, x-rayed the shoes. I was like, what brand is this? These are Caterpillars. Like the trucks. Like, I guess brand from Canada. Finally, 2 other big white American cops in uniform walked in. I was like, what is going on? And they told me that they had to search my body.
Oh my God.
So they told me to put my hands on the wall, on one of the windows, spread my legs, felt whatever they wanted to feel. And they said, he's clean, he has nothing on him. So they told me, okay, you can go ahead and pack your bags. Where are you going? Savannah, where's your ticket? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, you can bounce. So that was my introduction to the US of A. Later on, as I was walking to the gate for boarding to Savannah, the guy told me, I'm sorry if that made you feel uncomfortable. We've had a lot of Africans from Nigeria trafficking drugs. And we thought you were probably a Nigerian. I was like, but you could see from my passport, yeah, it's standard procedure. I mean, it's arguable that if I was Nigerian, I would use a different African passport to conceal my nationality and everything. But that was a rude introduction to this country. I was excited to
straight up. Let's start with racism. Yeah, and how do I even say Africanism? When you get against, it's like you are stereotyped with a group of black African drug dealers.
Yeah. In fact, they said my attire was consistent with their profile. Big, heavy jackets, because then they conceal things in them. Me, I was told it's winter, so dress warm. So I did. And then the thick shoes, apparently they hide drugs in the soles, which is why they were trying to bend and scan them and whatnot. So that was my introduction to the US in Washington, D.C.